when we fell.
My mom's from Grand Bahama, and we would come for summers to visit my aunts. And I went to church with my aunt. My aunt is a habitually late person. So needless to say, when we got there were no more seats. We just stood at the door. Well, of course, my aunt went up to the front where the seats were, and we were not going up there. So we were just looking around in the back trying to, so she said, I see 2 seats. They had small benches in their church, could hold 4 people. So we went, and I ended up sitting next to him. And I don't know, he asked me, I guess, what my name and, when I went to school, and a couple of things in church and stuff. And then the following weekend, there was a holiday. And I don't know if their family always went to the same beach, because remember I'm visiting, but we went to the same beach they were at, and then he started talking to me, and then I got a job because I was working that summer. I had graduated high school and I was going to work before college. So I ran into him a couple times on the path, and he asked me to lunch, and I was like, from high school I was always like, if somebody asked me to lunch, I'm like, free lunch. So that's what I was thinking, So we went to lunch and then went from there. That's basically what I remember. Maybe his story is different.
I think we were meant to meet because, we sat in church next to each other, we met on the same beach, and then we worked in the same building. So.
It was afterwards that I remembered that I had prayed about, and he had come in my spirit, and I was open. So I think without even, sometimes things come in your spirit, but you don't remember it. And I don't think I remembered going through it that time, but I did remember it afterwards, like, what you prayed about that.
Interestingly enough, it was the kiss in the limousine right after the wedding. We kissed in church during the ceremony, but I just felt so excited, so elated, and so that moment in the limousine, I've always remembered that.
Oh, good for you.
What about you?
Well, not so romantic or sensual. For me, what I remember about the wedding day was all of the, even though we invited people to the wedding, I never thought about the people being there. That's very, I thought that was, when I read that question, I was like, I never thought about the people being there. So when I looked at the pictures and saw all of the people who were there, and because I didn't even see them that day, I saw them from the pictures, that was special to me. And what I do remember from that day that was special was we did have a receiving line at the reception, and I did get to greet everybody, and I was really, really appreciative of that.
When we left the reception to go change, to go to the airport, we went by her cousin's house to change. And I grabbed my clothes and I started to go down the hallway to another room. And then it hit me, you're married now. So I just turned back and went back to the room where she was.
Oh, Lord. Excited. Well, there were a couple of birthday efforts that I thought, went beyond. Like one time, I think I was at work, and Peter just said, I don't remember what he said, but he said, we're gonna stop at the Princess Towers, and he had packed everything, and I don't know if he packed or somebody helped him, but we spent the birthday there, and everything was, I didn't even think about it. I didn't know anything was going to happen. I guess that was a very, very pleasant surprise, and it was a good memory, that one. And then another time, it was my birthday, and I don't remember what else was done, but I do remember that he got this picture, which we still have down there, which I still have on the wall down there. It was a picture of myself, and it had some quotes from some of my friends, and it was a big picture. And I just thought it was really thoughtful, because those are the type of things that I really, that I like. And those are some things that I mean, that's more than one memory, but the birthday efforts. And then one time we did our anniversary at Treasure Key, and it was very, very special. Treasure Key, I like Treasure Key. I feel like it's, and we've been to Treasure Key on more than one occasion. We've been with the children and everything. And sometimes we stayed at the villas, but for some reason, we stayed at the hotel, and it was our anniversary, and it was just, everything was just special. It felt very, very grand.
One of the things that really stands out is how thoughtful she's been, especially in making sure that I don't forget some things that are very important. And so her reminding me of things that are very important has been very special and meaningful to me. But I also cherish the many times when she expressed what I would call wisdom. She just seemed to have so much wisdom. Now, she would attribute it to the Holy Spirit, but the many times when she would share things with me that I would like, wow, that those are times when that I would say were very, very meaningful and special, that showed her concern and interest and all of that. Yeah.
Thank you.
You both sound so thoughtful.
He's taught me patience, because there were times when I didn't agree with certain things that she said or did, but by accepting what she said, I found out later that I'm glad I did wait, and I was glad I did accept what she said, because a lot of times it was the right thing to do.
One thing that I think God has taught me in the marriage is that you're not married to your sibling or somebody who grew up in your house. He does a lot of things the opposite that I would have done it, or the opposite that I would do. So learning that you're different, you're going to do it different, and just say, well, I guess that adds up to being patient. It took me a long time to be that way, because I guess the way I was raised, and I realized as an older person studying, the Word of God, that a lie that Satan had on me was I must meet certain standards to feel good about myself. So this is the standard. Okay, here we go. And I had to learn, no, that's your standard. And it's not even good for you. It's not a good thing to put those standards on yourself. And so I had to learn that you just accept. You try to accept. I feel that God has always used us as a unit to reach other people. Even when we were dating, we always worked in ministry. Even though I was not from here, I was a Christian. And so immediately when Peter had to, well, I don't know if he had to do it or not, but he invited me to go with him to do Vacation Bible School. So I did Vacation Bible School in Bethel Baptist Church in Pinedale. Didn't know where Pinedale was. Mount Calvary and Seagrave, didn't know where that was. I was just going to do Vacation Bible School. Upper Zion, of course, I knew that one. But I led and taught in Vacation Bible School from when we were dating. And then after we were married, when I got married, and Peter directed the choir at Upper Zion, and so he was playing and directing. So I just said, you play, I'll direct. And also he had led the youth group together at Upper Zion. And from there he was called to be a pastor. And then, well, I basically, we are charter members of Zion Baptist Church. So you did everything together. And so we always worked in ministry to this day. That's what I'm retired, but I still work with the church in a lot of areas.
A lot of what we did in church came from her, because she just seemed to have all the bright ideas, and so a lot of the programs that went on in the church, we planned together, because she was the one who's initiated or suggested, and we worked together on them. So I guess being a pastor, it was just natural that we would work together in winning people to Jesus Christ and working in ministry. I felt very proud of her when she coordinated. Our sorority was having a conference here in Freeport, and she was the local president, and so she was the one who coordinated the conference. So organizing this international conference with so many people, and then she did the same thing for the ministers' wives when they met here. I was really proud of how she coordinated and organized those events.
Well, I would say that my proud moment was, when Peter decided that he would apply for the regional secretary for the Baptist World Alliance. I don't remember exactly how I knew about it, or if I asked him if he was going to apply. I don't remember that part of it, but I remember him saying, "You think I should apply?" And I say, "Yes, just fast and pray and go about, and ask God." And the interview was in Florida, and when he had to go to the interview, I said, "I'm going. You go in, I stay out and pray." And I believe that it made a difference in terms of, he did get the position, served 15 years. And a part of that serving that I was also proud of was that during that time, his tenure there, they wanted to relocate the office from Grand Bahama to another Caribbean island. That meant a whole lot of changes for us, and I was not ready for that. It didn't look like it was something for the better for our family at that time, the children nor us. And so I was not for it, and I was trying to, and I said to him, with technology had already begun. They don't have to do that. They don't have to do that. I think you should stand up and, and he did. And they backed off, and I was proud. Well, how did we make it 50 years? Well, for me, it's total surrender to God. Totally listening to God and not trying to have my way. But when you surrender to God, it's surrendering to the other person as well. That's what I believe. So that's what I believe you have to do. That's what I believe makes 50 years. If you live to see it, that's what, if you're alive and God allow you to be alive for 50 years, it's about surrender. And it's a daily, it isn't something that just like one time. It's a lifestyle. But it's surrendering to God first, because you can't surrender to someone if you don't surrender to God.
just to add to what she said, because I feel that that's foundational to give yourself to God, because when you give yourself to somebody else without giving yourself to God, you find so many moments when you feel like walking away. But I believe that if someone feels that nobody's perfect, and not only that, that the same way that you feel about somebody else, they may feel about you. Um, I think it's important to recognize that um, you don't have all the answers.
What is important to realize as you go through marriage is that someone may, like he said, may think they're listening, but they're not really listening to you. They're listening to themselves. So it's important to listen to the other person and not yourself, because a lot of times people are just taking it from what they believe. So that requires, in terms of longevity, patience, and long suffering, because you be looking right at them and you know they're not listening to you. But they'll come around. Once, they'll come around.